Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of my Chairman's Chat series. Our topic for this episode is innovation. To me, innovation means technology plus creativity, which can add value to our services, our clients, and society. COVID-19 has accelerated the digital transformation trend, which now tops the agenda of many organizations. While seeing the increasing demand in digital transformation, our firm has been investing in technologies and talents, as well as working seamlessly with many alliances in cloud, CRM, and other software solution companies to support our clients. It is now the new normal for digital transformation to be part of business planning. Are the senior executives ready to face these challenges? How can they better manage digital transformation and be able to beat their ROI? In this episode, I've invited Mark Sage, COO at YUU Rewards Dairy Farm, and Michelle Yam of Deloitte Digital, who is part of the YUU project team, to share their successful digital transformation journey with us. Hi Mark and Michelle, thank you for being my guests today. Mark, congratulations, you've got more than 3 million downloads in YUU app, including myself.
Very good to hear.
Yeah. So can you give me an overview of this program and what was the idea?
Yeah,
when you first...
YUU Rewards is essentially a coalition loyalty program. There's models of coalition programs around the world, but I think its general vision was to try and bring together the dairy farm brands. A lot of consumers don't recognise, let's say, Welcome and Mannings are related, and so it's trying to bring together the ability for our customers to essentially earn value across shopping with dairy farm banners. And so that was the idea behind the program, was to kind of generate that value back to our members and our customers. I think what's interesting about YUU Rewards though is it's probably one of the first mobile-based coalition loyalty programs. So in other markets like the UK with Nectar, they're all plastic card-based. I think what was interesting about YUU Rewards is we launched it as a mobile-based program, which in a sense is quite a risk because you're taking the risk that people are going to download an app and use it on scale. But it's actually, as you say, worked very, very well. We've got 3 million members. Very, very high penetration of mobile installs on the back of that as well, so it's gone really well.
Did it beat your projection? Did you expect it to be so popular after a few short months?
We beat it on time, so I think we're still tracking against where we wanted to be in terms of the membership volumes. But certainly from a time point of view, yeah, we beat it. I mean, we had 1 million in the first week, 2 million in the first month. We're now at 3 million. After 7 months, so that's running a lot quicker than we thought we would initially run. But yeah, I mean it's fantastic. We were always aiming for a mass population within Hong Kong, and we've certainly got that. So yeah, it's worked well.
That's really, really good. So Michelle, you've been part of the core team for a long time.
Yeah, you can say that.
What are some of the cool things that you have encountered in this project?
Well, I mean, the whole experience, like just being in the project team with Mark and like the dairy farm guys and the Deloitte guys, like it was a really good experience over the course of, I think it was 2 years, beginning to end. But definitely like the coolest bit was when we went live, because I think delivering something that was tangible and you could see it all around Hong Kong, like be it the billboards of Cross Harbour Tunnel. I mean, the YUU song was in everyone's head. Everyone was talking about it. It was blue everywhere. I think that was really cool. Like we ended up delivering something, and everyone knew about it. It was a number one app in Hong Kong App Store as well. Yeah, so I think that was really cool.
Right. So Mark, you've been so successful, but how do you keep engaging with the 3 million plus customers, and what's the next level?
Yeah, I mean it's really about how do we keep them engaged with the content. I mean, what's really important about the program is it's not about the technology. The technology is an enabler, but it's really about the content, and it's getting that content more and more relevant to the customer, to the member within the program. Because what we want is people to open the app, and we want them to open the app every day. You know, whenever they're thinking about going shopping, we want them to come in and find offers that are relevant to them. And it's using that full set of channels that we have for the customer. So obviously we've got the app itself, so people can open the app and see the offers and see the ads and stuff that are in there. And increasingly those are becoming more and more targeted to the member. But we've also got channels like push notifications and emails and SMS, and it's using all of those to really kind of trigger customer interest and remind them to open the app and remind them to come in. And that works really, really well. I mean, we have very high engagement on a kind of weekly and monthly basis within the app across the base. And that works well to keep customers coming back and keep looking in the app. And then what we're showing them in there is hopefully content that's very relevant to their shopping experience, their purchase experience.
But we've seen loyalty programs before. How would you distinguish you from other loyalty programs?
It's an interesting question. I mean, loyalty programs at a basic level work the same. Points for kind of dollar program is the same, and that basic mechanic will always work quite well with customers. Customers, whether they're tapping a plastic card or showing an app, you'll get that kind of basic level of loyalty come through. Really, where it comes through is how do you enable customers to just earn more and more, and it's that flywheel effect that you're looking to create. So the coalition program gives you a bit of that, being able to earn on your groceries and pharmacy and convenience and F&B. You start to earn more and more points. Having the credit card part of it, the Hayes credit card for Enjoy, that gives you another set of points that come through. And so it's really trying to get customers on that flywheel where they're just earning more and more value, and they can see the value. The more they put into the program, the more they get out of the program. And then that's driving through offers. So a lot of our offers will be 3, 4, 5 times points. And that's to recognise and reward customers for doing what they do today. Sometimes it's for going into categories they don't currently shop with us in. But it's always trying to give more value back to that customer, to that member, and to give them more points back into the system. And I think as people see that, as they see their earning in real time, as they see their points balance grow, then you get that effect in the program.
And I think that's a really cool thing about the YU program, because I don't think there's any other program in Hong Kong where you spend your $500 at Manning's, for example, and then straight away within seconds of walking out of Manning's, you get your notification saying you've just earned 500 points. And I think that for someone who, I think when we implemented that, before we went live, it didn't seem like there was much about it. It was just like, you get a notification, cool. But I think like when you're actually shopping and then that happens, it's like, I was rewarded. Nice.
And customers do respond to it. It takes a lot of effort to get all of our POS systems to work in real time and to make that flow through the system in real time. And like you say, it feels like quite a small thing, a little push notification saying you just earned X points at 7-Eleven or Manning's. But the value of that to the customer, that reminder of that, really drives the customer back into the app again, because it just reminds them that they've now got more value and more value, and we keep adding to that value. But like you say, I think before launch, it was a feature we wanted in there, but nobody really considered it as being quite as motivational as it is. But it works very strongly.
Right. Very good. Now you've been working very closely with our team, especially Michelle. So how was your experience in working with us?
It's been really good, actually. I pretty much started the same week, I think, that the Deloitte team started. Back in the day, we had Deloitte come in really around the app. That was the main function that we utilised before. And I think I'd been in the job 1 week, and the team had started, and we had to start kind of crafting stories and starting building the app and going through. And it was almost very hand to mouth, because we were working very, very quickly. But the team were absolutely fine with that. They worked with us as we were doing it. And I think it's that kind of partnership that's worked. So I think what that's done is it enabled us to work as one team. We don't look at the Deloitte team as a separate team to us. It's just they're integrated into our team. It's one team of people moving forwards. And then that's kind of expanded as the relationship's expanded. So as the app kind of morphed into marketing automation and into things like API automation like MuleSoft, we've used more and more services across Deloitte to do that. Even things like performance testing. I mean, we had your colleagues in Australia help us out with performance testing, which is a very specialist skill set to do. But that enabled us to scale. When we launched, we weren't clear how many people were going to come in at that point in time. So we were essentially testing for 3 million people coming in a very, very short period of time. As it happened, it was still quite a lot more people than we were expecting as kind of normal BAU numbers. But yeah, it all worked, and the system, held together, worked well, was performance, and a lot of that is down to, having that team there helping us to bring that all the way through, right from the UX design at one end to the performance testing at the other end.
Mm-hmm. So Michelle, this is also a new project for you.
Yeah.
So in fact, was it your first project?
Yeah, it was my first one. Yeah.
So how did you feel? I mean, you were thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like the deep end. It was just a very nice project to be in, because I think it was my first customer or retail project, having come from more of a FS background, and I think come from the UK, it was really easy working with Mark as well. And I think that's one thing that feels valuable when you're a vendor, right? At the end of the day, that the whole, it was one team, one dream kind of thing. One team, one dream. But you just don't feel like, we're just working for someone. You're also crafting stories together, you're working on the UI, the UX, and you're working towards something together. And I think that was a very valuable experience.
Good. And I think that was also key because I think everybody had kind of pride in what we were doing.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a vendor relationship where it's like, I'm building you something, I'm going to walk away. It was, I think everybody was aligned to launching something amazing to the market. And that was on all sides of the team, really.
And no one's walked away yet.
You can't. Or we can't.
The relationship is still going strong.
I'm sure there will be 2.0, 3.0, right, that we can help. So you mentioned about some of the technology used. I know that you've got a very diverse supplier of software supplier that facilitate the app. Can you talk a little bit about this, how you coordinate, how you make sure everything works?
Yeah, so we have probably over 50 different systems that are all kind of connected together into the ecosystem, and a lot of those are the PaaS and e-commerce systems, a lot of the back-end systems that drive the retail experience. In the sense of the core systems, they're all basically SaaS-based systems. So we've taken that kind of approach of having a software as a service model across all of our product suite that we've got. We've got Salesforce as our kind of main engine, I guess, that runs from a marketing automation point of view. And that's essentially handling all of our email, all of our SMS and push. But it also does a lot of the journey automation as well. So where we've got all of our offers are handled, all those handled through Salesforce as well. And then we have the cognitive loyalty platform, which is what kind of does the back-end points in real time, the point turning for that piece. Those are the two kind of main engines in the system, I guess. And then we have MuleSoft as a layer that sits there, and that's really what plumbs everything together. So the MuleSoft layer is, what's working with our point of sale, and it's what's working with the loyalty platform, and it's orchestrating some of those journeys as well. So if somebody enrolls, it's going off to the various systems to make sure that all that happens in real time. And so, that's, in one sense, there's probably 3 or 4 core systems that we brought together to make the overall solution work, and obviously that has to operate across a much wider ecosystem. But really what it comes down to make that work is just the strength in the testing. When you've got so many disparate systems essentially that are managed by different vendors in completely different locations, and you're connecting all those systems together, your testing just has to be spot on to make sure that everything is working and that we've got all the different journeys working. I mean, our enrollment journey alone is complicated because of the different ways you can join up. You can, if you want to, you can sign up in the store with an Octopus card. And to get from that Octopus card sign up to an app installation is a completely different journey than you just downloading the app on your phone and using it. And so every one of those kind of enrollment journeys has to be tested and make sure it works at the systems level. So that's kind of the real strength of the overall solution, I think, is just how we had it all joined together and then real robust testing around it.
Wow, very interesting.
So much work went into the testing. So much work.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Hey Mark, I noticed that there is a function in the app that you can give back to society. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so we built in a capability within the app, originally around just sharing points generally. So you've got the ability to scan somebody else's mobile phone essentially and share points. And we built that function to allow you to share points with families. So essentially people could pool points to get a reward together. As part of that, we then added on the ability to donate to charity. So we've got FoodLink and Helping Hands as 2 charities in there. And that really then lets the members donate their points to a charitable cause, and it allows us to support that charitable cause. So we've got a campaign running at the moment where we give 10 times points on the back of that. So if you give every 1 point, you get 10 points given to that charity. And that just allows us to really support the charities that we back up within Dairy Farm and to basically give more back to the society within Hong Kong.
That's very good, very meaningful.
Yeah, and it works very well. I mean, I think people like to have that option as well to do that, and we run various campaigns around charitable giving as well to encourage people to give points at various times within the promotion.
Well, I understand that Michelle has donated 5,000 points, which means that Dairy Farm will donate 50,000.
Yes,
right, 10 times.
That's very
wow, very good. I'll do tonight.
Fantastic.
So, Michelle, as a young person, what do you think about innovation?
Well, that's a very broad question. Well, I think innovation is obviously something that we all need, especially with technology these days. And I think as a young person, we're all quite fickle-minded. I think what we like, what we do, what we need, it changes on a daily basis or like monthly basis. But I think with innovation, it's really what technology gives to you, and it answers a demand that you don't even realize you needed. Like, as in, maybe sometimes with like, I never realized how much I needed to watch really short videos, and with a really good algorithm in the back end kind of thing. But yeah, I think just staying on top of trends, meeting demands when it might not even be a thing that people realize they needed. I think that's innovation to me.
How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think innovation for me is not so much about the technology. Obviously, technology is important, and the channels that people are interacting with you are important. But I think that user experience is what really sets it apart. I think people will migrate towards things that are fun to use and easy to use, which is why many apps like Uber, etc., work so well, because they've just simplified the user experience. The product is the same. What you're doing in the sense of transport and taxis is exactly the same as what you did before. They've just made it a better journey to do it. And I think that's really where innovation for me kicks in, is how do you make the user experience, the customer experience, better than it was before. And I think to a degree we've done that with you, with the app, to make it easy to install, make it easy to use. But what's quite interesting is we're not even 12 months into it, and yet we're already looking at the next iteration. And we brought stamps into the program in January. There are some new partners coming in this week from kind of the Maximus brands. But the roadmap we have is just constant, and I think that's a big difference from if I looked back, say 5-10 years ago. You'd launch a website and you wouldn't really do much with it. You'd launch an app, you wouldn't really do much with it. It was built and then it lasted for a while. I think everybody's innovating all the time. Apps are changing all the time as they're adding more features and making it easier for people to do things in them. So I think innovation for me is really around customer experience.
Right. Good. Thank you, Mark and Michelle.
Thank you.
I'm really happy that you can join us today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Teach us and tell us all about the YUU app. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, sounds very exciting. I look forward to seeing more innovative experience through my YUU user journey. I must say this is a great example of innovation that can enhance customers' experience. We can also give back to society by donating YUU points to charities. Thank you, Mark and Michelle, for joining me today. Stay tuned for the next episode.